Good to go?
The first tale that I wrote is called Bodach Ròcabarraigh, and it is based on a story that my grandfather used to tell. The story goes like this. There was a man who came ashore, a fisherman in Uist, and he had got lost in the fog while sailing, and nobody knew where he came from, but he settled in Uist. He married and had children, family, and he fished with the sons, but eventually he became blind and couldn't fish anymore, but his sons carried on fishing. And after years went by and he was becoming quite old really, his boys came back home one day and said that they'd found this very odd fish that they'd never seen before, and for some reason or other they'd had to go out further west into the Atlantic than they would normally go. He was very intrigued when they described the appearance of this fish, and he wanted them to take him out there. So the next day they went out, and they got to the place where they found the fish, and he said, well, just in a moment or two, if you carry on, you should come across a patch of fog. And right enough they did. And then he said, well, now carry on through the fog, and soon enough you should come up against a big rock. So they carried on through the fog for a wee while, trusting his word, and he was right. They did come across this big rock, and on this rock there were some houses, and he said that this was where he grew up, this is where he was born, and this is where he came from. And so they moored, and then they went up onto the rock and to the houses, and the man's family were there, and very pleased to see him. So he said to his sons, you will now go back home and look after my wife, look after your mother, and I will stay here for the rest of my life with my family. So that place, Bodach Ròcabarraigh was what my grandfather used to say, and the story I found it on Bodach Ròcabarraigh. He talks about it being Ròca, the island, the rock itself.